All right, g'day legends. Welcome back to another episode of the Laptop Lifestyle Dad Show. Hey, we're in partnership with the Los Angeles Tribune Podcast Network. Thank you very much for blessing us with that opportunity. Hey, I'm your host, Jeff Ross, your caffeinated kangaroo, bouncing in from Tasmania, helping frustrated affiliate marketers, network marketers, and online entrepreneurs master AI, social selling, and attraction marketing to build a business that works for you, not the other way around. And today's episode is going to hit home, especially if you're passionate about branding and freedom and building a life that you don't need a vacation from. Yeah, a quick shout out before we dive into it all. I just want to give a shout out to our Laptop Lifestyle Dads Academy students for thank you for saying yes, for blessing us the opportunity to be able to help mentor you and guide you, to help you to step up and become experts in your field. And this episode is brought to you by the Laptop Lifestyle Dads Academy. And if you're ready to build a brand with AI-powered marketing, automate your business, and finally create time and financial freedom without burning out, then you'll need to check out the Academy in the Academy in the show notes below. So let's jump straight in. And today's guest is someone who truly embodies the remote lifestyle dream. Mike Holp is a digital entrepreneur, a world traveler, an expert in personal branding himself, who's helped countless people launch online businesses while living life on their terms. From travel photography to online consulting, Mike's mastered the art of storytelling and building genuine communities around him. And today he's going to bring his wisdom straight to you. So Mike, welcome to the Laptop Lifestyle Dad Show.
Cheers. Thanks so much for having me on the podcast. Glad to be here.
My absolute pleasure. And I'd love to just always start here. So if you could share with your story, like a bit of a summary of it in 2 minutes or less, that'd be a really great place, because this is about creating a heart-to-heart connection with you, right, and our audience. And I find the best way to do that is to share our story from, what I call Sucksville to where we are, to Awesome Town. So what is your Sucksville to Awesome Town story?
Oh, good question. So I've shared this story on many times now, but basically I'm from the U.S., as you could probably guess. And, I've lived there most of my life. And I was living in Austin, Texas for about 6-7 years and just kind of stuck in the rat race. Right. So, essentially I was delivering food to people on my bike for a while. And that was just to basically pay my bills to get by. And after a point, I'm like, what the hell am I doing all of this for? Right. Just going around in circles. And I ended up in late 2019, I bought a one-way ticket to freedom. And I took off for Bali, Indonesia.
Love that.
Yeah. Been wanting
one-way ticket to freedom. I love that.
So I saw this, as an up-and-coming destination for digital nomads, remote workers. This was before the pandemic. And ended up staying there for about 2 months. And then my visa ended up expiring. So I decided to head on over to Thailand. And picked out Phuket on the map, flew into Phuket, and the rest is history.
Love
5
it.
years.
Yeah, brilliant. I was actually in Phuket last year in August, and I think it was pretty hot. Very humid.
Yeah, right now it's really hot.
Yeah, Barlang Road. That's an eye opener, especially at night time.
Yeah, Bangalore Road.
Bangalore Road. Yeah, Bangalore Road. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I had a pretty awesome time there. I took my actual 13-year-old son over. No, I didn't take him down Bangalore Road at night time. But we had an amazing time whilst we were there. It was pretty awesome. So I'm really curious, what role has storytelling and personal brand played in helping you to build trust and freedom with your people, right? And help you to build trust and freedom as an entrepreneur for your audience?
Yeah, good question as well. I really just like to be authentic, open, transparent with people. So just recently I was at a conference in Vietnam. It's called Vietnam Nomad Fest. And I did a speech on how to make money on Facebook and YouTube. And I just shared my own personal journey with the audience. And I was very nervous to get up on stage because this isn't something that I'm used to doing. But once I was up there, it just became almost effortless. I just spoke from the heart. And people really seemed to appreciate my honesty. I wasn't showing that I was making $10,000 a month or anything like this. I was just very, very open with people. So I think through telling those stories and then the personal journey as well that got me from where I was, point A to point B, was it can be a superpower.
Mm. Yeah, I find it's the way to cut through the noise, right? It's a very noisy place.
It sure
Is
is.
to
It
is to
sure
be
is.
really real, transparent, authentic, right? But
Uh-huh.
not faked authentic. I know that's a contradiction in terms, but there are a lot of people out there that are sort of using this new term, bad authenticity, for manipulation's sake. But
Sure.
people can sense through that BS, right?
Of course.
So I
I can
find
see through it
especially
right
when
away most times.
right. But I
But
find when you focus on building legacy impact, it's not about you. It's about the greater good. It's about the community you serve, right? That's where that true authenticity and being vulnerable and transparent
yeah,
are really, really big assets for you in storytelling, right?
exactly. And just through being really authentic, I got a lot of people coming up to me after the speech, like right away, asking me, How can I do this?" They didn't even know that you could make money on Facebook, and uh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
I
a
find that's attraction marketing in itself, right? It's
yeah.
to put yourself out there, but you bring people to you, and then you
Mhm.
take them down the customer value journey. And essentially, what we're describing here is leadership.
Yeah, sure.
Leadership is influence. Influence is leadership. Nothing more, nothing less.
Absolutely. And it's not an overnight success, right? It's taken me
No,
many years to get to this stage.
yeah,
But,
I've been going since 2010.
oh
So there
wow,
you go.
long
Yeah.
time for you as
Uh,
well.
yes. Yeah. And it's people are starting to recognize who I am now and say, oh, where's this Jeff Ross come from? It's an overnight success story. I was, well, no, it's it's 16 years of trial and error before it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't see the years and years of hard work and slogging you put into it before it
Yeah,
reaches
that's it.
today.
So, mate, you've built some authentic communities around you, and you travel, and your lifestyle is one of those ones where you don't need a vacation from because it's just a permanent vacation,
Pretty
and
much.
and, and you don't use shady ads. Everything I've seen about you. It's just about pure connection. It's about that heart to heart interaction.
For
So,
the most part, yeah. I try to
yeah.
keep
So
it
for
really
yeah, I appreciate that. So for our network and affiliate marketers who are listening here, and ones who I really believe that really crack the code here are building personal brands and not just being another cloned ambassador for another company XYZ. Today, it's really about how do we build real influence without relying on spamming and cold outreach and all of that. Do you have any tips for our listeners to be able to help support them on their journey to sort of get this going for them?
yeah, I mean, if you're talking about a specific platform, let's focus on Facebook, for example.
Yeah,
Um,
great place to start.
you don't have to be, constantly selling people and sending cold DMs all the time.
Hmm.
I've got about 40,000 followers now, just my personal profile. And lately, I've just started going through and starting conversations with these people. And I'm
Mm,
not trying to sell them anything. I'm just basically saying, what inspired you to follow me? Would love to start a conversation, something along those lines. And just by doing that, you can you can get to know people
yeah,
virtually, right? And then
slow
from
it
there,
down. Slow
you
it
can
down.
call if you want later. But I would recommend not just like selling them right away in the DMs because that's sleazy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It's a bit like dating, right? We've got to slow it down. We've got to court people. We've got to build a relationship.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
something I've struggled with over the years too. Is like just going in for the
Ah.
jugular like right away, but it doesn't work.
When I first got into this game, the way I like to describe it was, think of Jeff Ross. You're walking along the beach, and there's all of a sudden there's this dog that's running up the beach and starts humping your leg, like
Hmm.
that used to be me. Like I used to be right
Oh yeah.
into it. Like I think we've all done it. We're all guilty of it a bit, and maybe not to that extreme, but we all go in for the kiss a bit too early, right? So we've
Uh,
just got to learn to slow it down. It's
yeah,
human
sure.
first, marketer second, and it's about learning the art of relationship building.
And speaking of walking on the beach and talking to people, I think it's better if they come up to you and approach you first.
Mm, mm,
That happens for me from time to time in Samui because I've kind of built the brand here and I'm quite well known in Samui. So sometimes
mm,
people just come up to me on the beach and strike up a conversation. So it's better
mm.
they come up to me versus me going after them. It's that
So I
yeah,
find you can do I find you can do that online too, right? You
huh?
lead with
Sure.
lead with content, and if you use content to create curiosity and start a conversation rather than trying to pitch all the time,
Mm-hmm.
that's where you can get people to put their hand up and say, yes, me, I'd like more information. And
Sure.
essentially they've qualified themselves to start a conversation. So
Yeah.
I suppose, have you got any tips or training to help people to support them to learn how to do that?
Not really, but I was speaking with a guy recently who I met at this conference in Vietnam, and he's quite good at selling on social media, and he just gave me like a template to follow for the posts, the hand raised
Mm,
post, so to speak. And I gave one of those a try. It's like, I don't know who basically who wants to escape the rat race without burnout and move to Thailand in the next 6 weeks. Comment below or whatever, right? And
mm.
I tried that, and I got a lot of comments. Just
Yeah, so
people
it's
raising their hands saying yes.
it's what I call being the detective.
Mm-hmm.
It's been genuinely curious to get you ask like a qualifying question
Yeah,
to out of your massive following, right? So your 40,000 people, to get
yeah,
them to say,
yeah.
yeah, I would like more information. That might be me. Like I might want to know more about it. It's that stage, right? It's
Sure.
that discovery stage.
Discovery. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So, as someone who's seen the whole inside of the whole remote work boom, like Bali and all this sort of thing now is for digital content creators and entrepreneurs, it's the hit place. But it
It's
sounds like
blowing up.
you were there before it all happened. What are some of the biggest opportunities and biggest traps for people in the online marketing space in 2025 and beyond? Like, what are some of the pitfalls that we think we need to highlight to help people avoid?
Hmm. Good question. Yeah, it got me stumped on that one. Um. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I don't know either. I'm
Pitfalls.
always
Yeah.
asking the question, right? Because it's about, for me, this space is about service. It's about being a hero maker, not a hero, and
Sure.
it's about trying to be the guide on the journey, right? To guide people. And sometimes the biggest thing we can do is help people avoid certain pitfalls. Like don't go over that death to flying cliff, because
Yeah.
if you go down that road, you're going to die. You're going to fail. So I suppose if you had any experience in some big mistakes that you've made to help people avoid those same mistakes. Have you got any stories around that?
Um. I mean, I will say that I think content creation now is getting a bit saturated, especially in a place like Bali.
Mm,
And I say it's both a blessing and a curse because there's so many people doing it now that places like Bali and even Phuket, they're just getting too busy
yeah.
because there's so many content creators. And that would be one thing that I would say, just at a bigger picture,
Yep.
is
So when everybody's zigging, find the way to zag.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that's a good way
Cool.
to put it.
Yeah. So I've been watching you over the last couple of months. It's been the last 6 months, and I know you started to experiment and dabble with AI,
Yes, I
and
am.
with AI getting better every day, especially at content creation. How do you personally balance AI with staying authentic with your brand voice? Or what are some
Oh,
of your tips around this?
you're full of the good questions today. So yeah, I would say like I'm not using the faceless videos. There's a guy
Mm.
on Facebook. I'm sure you're familiar with him, Austin Armstrong.
We've had him on our show.
Oh, really? Oh, wow! It's an
Yeah.
honor to be on here. So he created Syllabi, which is basically allows you to
Yes.
create these faceless videos. And obviously, you could do really well with these. You could get videos that go potentially viral on YouTube, or if you're putting them up as shorts. But for me, I really
Hmm.
try to avoid that because it's not going back to what we were talking about earlier. It's not authentic. It's
Mm.
I would say fake, in lack of a better term. So I really just focus on showing my face. I want to show my face in the videos because I think that's the best way to build a personal brand. I could be using all these AI fancy gizmo tools, uh, but for the most part, I kind of try to avoid that.
Yeah, I can see that. I
Yeah.
actually see in that, in this space of AI revolution, whatever we want to call it, right?
Hmm.
There is a lot of hype around it at the moment,
For sure.
and I'm seeing that the space that, like, I've always been a person that I've recognized even before AI. People are starving for connection. They're
Sure. Sure.
starving to feel seen and heard and known, right? And that gap seems to be getting bigger and bigger.
I think so
And
too. Yeah.
So when we can leverage AI to help support us, not replace us. It's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
my mantra has always been AI plus our heart equals our superpower.
Uh-huh.
So what are some of the ways that you leverage AI to support you on your journey?
Yeah, so I've actually, I think I mentioned this to you another time just through Facebook Messengers. I've been using an AI chatbot, and I've been using this chatbot on my business page for around 4 months. I use a tool called Pulse for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, what that does is it just posts comment replies
Mm-hmm.
to increase engagement on posts, and then it also sends them a DM. So basically, it takes
Okay.
the response and then it runs it through ChatGPT and then sends it back a DM. So I've been
Yep.
using that for around 4 or 5 months now. And honestly, like it's not really generating more clients or book calls for the business. So just yesterday I disabled it
Yep.
because I'm like, this is, and it's also getting on people's nerves too. So I'm like,
Yep.
maybe better not to use it anymore, right? Um,
Uh, uh, yeah.
so and now basically what I've done on the business page is I just added the button to contact me via WhatsApp, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
already getting people reaching out on WhatsApp. So I don't think I
Yeah.
really need the chatbot,
Yeah. And
right?
look, I've experimented with those chat bots too, and those comment bots as well, and
Hmm.
I do see there for some industries
Yeah,
they serve, but I think for as an influencer, someone's lead with a personal brand, when you can lead in and bring in the human even more, I think that's even more noticeable, especially today,
sure,
and
sure, sure.
people respect that. Yeah. I've yet to find a balance between AI automation and bringing in the human for communication point of view. So
Hmm.
I personally love to leverage AI for my content, with my posts and my images, and keeping it sort of a little bit quirky on brand, especially like with the caffeinated kangaroo and all that sort of stuff. And
Yeah, yeah,
I found AI to help me to become a better communicator and a better storyteller, but it's always keeping the humor in the loop is where I found the balance.
sure.
So how's AI helped you support you with your content and your storytelling, that type of thing, if anything, or it
Uh,
hasn't,
so
or it hasn't?
it does. I mean, I use it for like email copywriting. That's I'd
Yeah,
say
yeah.
the biggest ones, and then also generating images. I've been using it for a little while. There were people creating these action figures in a box.
That's
Kind of
yeah.
goofy.
I think was one of the ones who were guilty of starting that fad.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I decided to create one of those, and I think it got on my personal profile like 160,000 views. Crazy. So it is a good way to just get more engagement and
Hmm.
help people figure out about your brand.
Yeah,
But
have a bit of fun with it too, right?
yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
And then also I
So,
use for YouTube. There's a tool called vidIQ, which maybe you've heard of,
mhm.
and that one has you can basically just generate thumbnails using AI now.
Okay, no, I haven't heard of that one. So
That's
what's it called?
It's a huge time saver. You can just
Yeah.
put a picture of yourself and it will put the background with you holding a phone or whatever with a
Oh
nice
yeah, cool.
headline. Saves a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah. What,
So
what was that tool called? Sorry.
IQ.
Okay,
That's
I'll
for
have to look at
YouTube.
that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of the best.
Yeah.
There's vidIQ and TubeBuddy. So between the two of those, you're all set.
Okay, so out of all the social platforms, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and all that sort of thing, which one has served you the best?
Oh, Facebook by far. Facebook,
Mm.
I've got on the page 160,000 followers and I'm reaching like 10 million people a month with
Mm-hmm.
zero ads. And that one
Yep.
just pays out. They pay me every month, and so does YouTube.
Yep.
So,
Uh,
you
uh,
know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
that's it. Like I know Facebook started paying me 50, $60 a month for
Yeah,
my stuff. Nowhere near yours, but it's somewhere to
good
start. So
start. Good start.
I've
Just keep
just
scaling up.
thank you. Like I've almost hit 10,000 followers. So
Uh
what
huh.
coaching or tips would you give to me to help me get from 10,000 to 100,000?
Oh, I would say you just got to put in the practice over years. It's
There you
gonna
go.
take, it's gonna take a while. Um, but as long as you're monetized on your profile, you're on the right
Mm,
track. And just keep
mm.
doing more of what's working and less of what isn't. Basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So follow the numbers and lean into the numbers, right?
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah. No.
see the posts that are getting a lot of engagement because you can get performance bonuses, as I'm sure you know,
Yep. Yep.
on those.
So I reckon I had my very first mini viral post go out there last month, and it was a bit of a dad joke, husband joke, and it got shared 600 times, a
Ah,
bit over 600, and it's
wow.
like holy whacker, where did this go from? I just fluked it somehow, and then I
What was
tried
your
to rinse.
chicken dinner?
Yeah, I was trying. I think like from that one post, I may have got paid like $15. And I was like, okay, cool, all right. Well, how do I rinse and repeat this success now?
Yeah.
So I've started leaning in a little bit to the husband jokes and
Uh,
the awesome, obviously laptop lifestyle dad, right? So the husbands and the wives and that follow me,
yeah.
they're leaning into it, right? So it's just having some fun with it, being entertaining. And I find you've got to get your content marketing balanced right. So from being entertaining to educational to being
Hmm.
inspirational to being promotional, there needs to be some promotion in there, right? What would
Yeah.
you say are
Understood.
some of the things that you need to focus on to keep that balance?
Sure. And then once you identify your niche, you can just hone in on that. So for you, it would
Mm,
be dad jokes. For me, it's mostly Thailand related posts.
mm,
So I can't find
yeah.
that post that you're talking about. It must have been a while ago.
It was about a month ago now. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I post probably about 5 or 6 times a day, but I know that's a conversation between most influencers of itself.
Uh-huh.
Some say only post once a day, some post to six a day. I don't know. Do you have any theory around that?
It really, I don't think there's like a particular cadence you need to stick to. For
Yeah.
me, it varies from day to day. I'll try to make a post almost every single day on my page.
Yeah.
And a profile is just like whatever comes to mind. And then I also have a Facebook group which just hit 15,000 members today. So that
Hmm.
one's escape the rat race and move abroad to Asia. So I post a lot in there too.
Yeah. So you're definitely talking to the heart of an audience that, especially wanting to escape America at the moment,
Oh yeah,
and look abroad, right? So you've picked a
absolutely.
very
Yeah,
like it can be a polarizing topic, but it's a topic that's an audience that for those you found your tribe, right? You
yeah,
found your
yeah,
people.
yeah, exactly. And I try to keep it positive. I don't want to talk about politics and Trump and all this.
Hmm.
It's like they already know about that. So
Yeah,
with the tariffs and all this nonsense. So
yeah,
if you want to get out of that situation, then
yeah. You've created
just use that.
a catch-all for people who are wanting to escape that, and
Yeah,
you're there right there to catch them. I love it.
exactly. Yep, I've
Yeah, it's
got the net out. They know how to find me.
no, it's quite smart the strategy that you put into there, and
Mhm.
yeah, I think you're very unassuming, but you're very servant hearted, and you're there just to help lead people, and I love
Yeah,
everything that you
yeah.
represent.
Another nice thing that I've recently started doing on the profile is basically you can turn on automatic invites.
Hmm.
So all of your I don't know if you know about this. All of your active followers on the profile can automatically get invited to join your Facebook group.
Yeah, I just turned it on 3 weeks ago myself, and I
Oh
think my
yeah,
Facebook group's got 500 people in it just because of it. So yeah,
there you
it's
go. Yeah, it helps a
pretty
lot.
cool.
Uh huh.
Yeah. So let's look at wrapping up. If you had to give someone a simple 3-step roadmap to launch a personal brand today from scratch, someone who's just starting out with a dream and a laptop and an internet connection, what would that game plan be, and how would you get them started?
Okay, yeah. So I would recommend. I'm gonna make it sound really simple, but
Please do.
essentially, all you really need to do is take out your phone and hit record.
Love it.
That that's and just get something up there, right? People make it so complicated, like all these excuses. Oh, I don't have the right camera equipment. I don't have the right lighting. I don't have the right environment. All this stuff, but all you really need is a phone. Like I
Mm,
shoot almost all of my content on this phone where we're recording this podcast.
mm,
And it's just as simple as a Xiaomi phone, which I would like to upgrade at some point. But you don't really need anything all that fancy. So just hit record, start a YouTube channel, put it up on your Facebook profile, whatever.
and
And
just
yeah,
Nike it, right? Just do it.
yeah, exactly. Just do it.
Yeah,
Get
no, I
something
love
up
it.
there because
Yeah,
if you keep procrastinating, you're never going to create anything, right?
yeah. Get out of your head, get into your heart, and just do it. Love it.
Done is always better than perfect. Perfect doesn't exist.
Yes, I say that all the time. Sometimes it's better to be ignorance on fire versus knowledge on ice.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, mate, this has been absolute gold mine for our listeners. I really appreciate you. You've said some amazing gems. Before we wrap up, where can our listeners connect with you? How can they, get access to, what you have to offer? Where can they
Sure.
learn more about your journey?
Yeah, so the best way to get in touch with me is actually through my website, which is beremoteconsulting.com. You can check that out. And I also have a face on Facebook. It's just Mike Abroad, and same on YouTube. Also got Instagram and TikTok as well, which I don't use quite as much. So yeah, I would say the best way is just Facebook. Can look me up on
Cool.
Facebook.
Nah, awesome. And you post some really amazing content there, especially with Thailand. And, you're making me want to come back. That's for sure.
Welcome anytime, and come to
Nah, I
Samu
love it.
next time. I'll show you around.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely have to make sure we make that happen next time. I'm off to Japan in June,
Oh,
so take it. So
this is on
that's gonna
my.
be fun.
I also want to go to Japan and also China too.
Yeah,
They,
no, I've always wanted to go to Japan since I was a kid. I made a deal with my boys. I've got three boys, and I said to them 3 years ago, when they turn 13, I'll take them anywhere in the world, just a father and son trip. And my oldest just turned 13 this year, and he's chosen to go to Japan. So we're
amazing.
off in June. Can't wait.
Oh, that'll be fun. Tokyo.
Yeah, yeah, Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto. So we
Awesome.
get on the we'll get the bullet train. We'll go around. We'll just check that's southern part of it all. So it should be fun.
You should create some YouTube videos or something while you're there, or
It
whatever.
definitely will be. My
Yeah.
my son actually, Harrison. He's we've taught him how to do all the podcast editing and publication, and so he's our little editor in the background who looks after all these shows and puts them up online for me.
Sweet.
Uh, pay him $30 an episode. He's got a little bit too much money.
Great.
All right, legends. Well, one thing before we go, it's a bit of a tradition here of mine, and I know my son when he's editing these podcasts, he goes, "Oh, Dad, not another one." You make him cringe. So you ready for the classic laptop lifestyle dad joke?
Sure. Hit
Why
me.
why don't digital nomads ever get stressed?
They're having too much fun.
Because they just zip up their problems into a carry-on and move on.
Yeah. Store it, and go.
Store it and go. Legends, if you've been fired up, make sure to subscribe. Share this with a mate of yours, and let's get it out there so we can help people create a journey of freedom. And leave us a cheeky 5-star review on your favorite platform. Until next time, stay caffeinated, stay legendary. And you can find us on YouTube, on the Laptop Lifestyle Dads channel. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and we're also partnered up with the Los Angeles Tribune Podcast Network. Thank you very much for your time. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.